All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're looking at a creature that literally seems like it was pieced together straight out of a myth. I'm talking about the seahorse. These little guys are a living, breathing saltwater symphony. I mean, they are full of just beautiful biological contradictions. Think about it. Tiny, armored swimmers with curly prehensile tails, eyes that rotate independently, and, get this, fathers that actually carry the babies. Human evolution gave us things like hedge funds and online comment sections. But nature produced the seahorse. It's this perfect, wild blend of elegance and absolute biological chaos. So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll meet the ocean's knight, dive into the anatomy of a sea monster, check out the pregnant fathers, explore their marine camouflage, discuss protecting the saltwater symphony, and wrap it all up with 4 quick seahorse FAQs. Okay, part 1. Meet the ocean's knight, an introduction to the genus Hippocampus. So a crucial starting point is their actual scientific name. They belong to the genus Hippocampus. And that comes from the ancient Greek words hippos, which means horse, and campos, meaning sea monster. But look, despite that seriously monstrous name, they are actually delicate, prehistoric bony fish. There are over 45 unique species swimming around worldwide today. And their fossils, they actually date back millions of years. It just proves that this strange evolutionary experiment is incredibly resilient. Moving on to part 2, anatomy of a sea monster. It's a beautiful biological paradox. Now, what's wild is how seahorse biology completely throws the standard fish blueprint right out the window. While a normal fish has scales, swims super efficiently, and, possesses a stomach, nature basically looked at the seahorse and said, yep, no digestive efficiency for you. Instead of standard scales, they have skin stretched tight over bony plates. They max out at a top speed of maybe 5 feet per hour, and incredibly, they completely lack a stomach or even teeth. And because they don't have a stomach, food just passes straight through them in an absolute flash. Because of that, they have to eat almost constantly. I'm not kidding. They have to eat up to 3,000 tiny crustaceans a day just to survive. Can you imagine that? Having to scarf down 3,000 meals every single day just to keep your energy up. It's exhausting just thinking about it. Which brings us to part 3, the pregnant fathers, flipping the biological script. So seahorses are incredibly famous for being one of the only species on Earth where the male carries the babies. It's wild. It starts with this beautiful, elaborate courtship dance where the pairs swim side by side. Then, the female deposits her eggs right into a special brood pouch on the male's abdomen. For the next 9 to 45 days, the dad fertilizes and incubates those eggs. He acts a lot like a mammalian placenta, providing nutrients and regulating oxygen and salinity. And then finally, he gives birth to anywhere from a few dozen to over 1,500 fully independent tiny seahorses, which are called fry. All right, part 4. Masters of marine camouflage, hiding in plain sight. Now, since their tiny dorsal fins flutter super rapidly, we're talking up to 35 times a second, but still only move them about 5 feet an hour, they get exhausted really easily by strong currents. So they need serious defenses against predators like crabs and rays. Their solution? They use prehensile tails, kind of like monkeys, to anchor themselves securely to seagrass and coral. And once they're anchored, they become absolute masters of disguise. They can rapidly change colors and even grow fleshy little filaments to become completely invisible against their backdrops. And this camouflage comes in an unbelievable variety of adaptations. They adapt so perfectly to their environments. You've got the tiny dwarf seahorse, which is just half an inch long, hiding out in seagrass, all the way up to the giant seahorse at 14 inches. Oh, and we can't forget their close relative, the weedy sea dragon, which reaches 18 inches and is covered in these elaborate leaf-like appendages. Every single species is just a masterclass in blending into its specific marine neighborhood. Next up is part 5, protecting the saltwater symphony, a fragile existence. Unfortunately, the beautiful existence of the seahorse is under severe threat across the globe. Many species are now officially classified as vulnerable or endangered. They're facing absolutely devastating habitat loss as coral reefs and seagrass meadows get destroyed by pollution. Plus, they are frequently caught as unintentional bycatch in shrimp trawling nets. But the most staggering part? Over 150 million seahorses are harvested annually for traditional medicine and souvenirs. 150 million! Protecting their coastal ecosystems is absolutely crucial for their survival. Finally, part 6. 4 quick seahorse FAQs. A rapid-fire recap. All right, let's jump right into our first question. Just how fast is the ocean's night in a full-on sprint? Well, at a blazing 5 feet per hour, they are literally the slowest moving of all fish species. Since they rely on that tiny dorsal fin to propel them, while smaller pectoral fins just steer, they definitely aren't winning any ocean races. But here's the catch. This actually makes them extremely energy-efficient swimmers when they're just anchored down and waiting for their next meal. Moving on to our second question. How on earth do they spot danger if they can't quickly swim away from it? The answer is a resounding yes. Much like chameleons, their eyes move entirely independently of one another. That means they can be constantly scanning the seagrass in multiple directions at once. They're literally keeping one eye out for a tasty crustacean while the other watches their back for predators. Okay, third question. How do you manage to eat 3,000 times a day when you have absolutely no teeth? It turns out they are brilliant ambush predators that essentially act like tiny underwater vacuums. By creating a powerful suction with those elongated tubular snouts of theirs, they can snatch prey from a distance. And when they do, it makes this tiny rapid snick sound as they swallow plankton and shrimp completely whole. And our final question for today. Do these bizarre, armored little fish prefer to live their lives entirely alone? Not at all. They're actually incredibly social and really peaceful. Many species are known to form monogamous pair bonds. In fact, they perform intricate daily greeting dances with their partners just to reaffirm your bond. And get this, seahorse couples even exchange gifts. It's honestly just amazing. Which perfectly summarizes our journey today. To quote the explainer, seahorses are a reminder that evolution is not interested in making sense. It just keeps experimenting until something survives long enough to become adorable and scientifically confusing. And I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. What other magical scientific contradictions are waiting to be discovered in our oceans right now if we just step up to protect them? Thank you so much for exploring with me today. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.